about the salient features of Constitution. The first principles here, we the people of India, one. Then second one, sovereign country. Second point, features of Constitution. Third one, India is a socialist country. Third point of this our Constitution, salient features. Socialist means we give the equality among all the peoples in our country. That is called socialist. We treat the all people in the manner of social. See, the goal of our Constitution is to create social equality among all people. Okay, and also promote welfare of the people in our country. Welfare of the people means we should give whatever the basic needs of our people and try to understand the problem of people and provide some facilities to the people through some programs and developmental programs. So that is called welfare of the people. To enable this, directive principles of state policy have been incorporated. For that purpose, fulfilling, our country has implemented and incorporated the directive principles of state. So, in the Constitution, through the 42 amendment done in 1976, the 42 amendment to do the welfare of the people, to uplift the society people, done it in 1976, that is the preamble of our Indian Constitution. Through this amendment, that means 42 amendment, land reformation also implemented to the those who are tenure of the cultivator of the land, their land also belongs to them. Udumane Bodia, like that. See, the land reformation also implemented through the amendment of 42 and progressive economic reforms were introduced. See, the effect of 42 amendment, the greenery and development program and progress process also happened throughout the Indian country through the 42 amendment. Next one, after the socialist, next secular country. We should treat all the people of all the religion equally. That is called secular. It has been incorporated in the Constitution through the 42 amendment also. 1976, already I have told you that no religion has been given the status of a national religion. Here, no one religion is top. Each and every religions are equal. So, no one has given the status of national religion, and so India is a secular country. That means it treat to all religions are equal. So citizens have the liberty. All people they have freedom. Liberty nothing but freedom to practice whatever they want to perform the religion they desire. What they want, that is called desire. All religions have equal status in India. The conclusion is that all religions are equal. Our Constituent Assembly has given the full rights to all citizens of people to perform, to worship all religion equally. There is no national religion. That is called the secular. All religions preamble, all religions emblems are there. Center place the India. So the India is treated, all religions are equal. That is called secular. That is the salient features of our Constitution. Next one, India is the democratic republic country. See, securing the happiness of everyone is the responsible of a government. Indian democracy, preambles are solved through discussion. So, any country, the first responsibility of that country to provide all facility to the people, welfare of the people of country through the solved discussion. Through the solved discussion, they were discussing about the Indian development and also come to the conclusion and solve some problems through the discussion matter. When are elections held? Say, some representatives are needed to smoothly run our country through the elections. So, 5-year elections also conducted universal order branches. That is called universal order branches. So, see the fact that our head of state is the President of India, who is elected for a period of 5 years, proves that our country is a republic. So, how we call the republic? We call the republic, that means our country, the first person, none other than he was the president of our India. He was also elected through the representative. That's why that is called, our country is a republican country. That is the election process, our constitution assembly. One question is there for your recreation to get attention. What is constitution? Already I have told you that constitution is nothing but rules and regulations, orders of our state and guidance of our state for administration of a state. Second one question: when did the Indian Constitution come into existence? It came into existence on 26 January 1952. Now we are celebrating Republic Day every year, January 26. Our constitution is written and lengthy constitution. Our constitution is in the written formation. The powers and functions of the agents of the government, like legislature, executive, and also judiciary, have been delineated in the constitution. So, this is legislature, executive, and judiciary. That means our salient features of our constitution. It has a lengthy and also written constitution through legislative, executive, and judiciary. See, written and constitution. And fundamental rights and duties and direct principles of state policy also are all in the written form in our constitution. Originally, our constitution consists of 22 chapters. How many chapters? 22. And how many schedules? 8. How many articles? 395. See, in your mind, 395 articles, 8 schedules, and 22 chapters in our Constituent Assembly. And it has become a lengthy constitution with 25 chapters, 12 schedules, and 465 articles mentioned in our partially flexible and partially rigid constitution. Sometimes it becomes rigid, sometimes it becomes flexible, because subject to that our environmental of our situation of our country. The constitution which can be easily amended is called flexible and also simple constitution. Sometimes that have special procedures for amendment are called rigid. Through the amendment, that is called rigid. Sometimes it becomes easily flexible and simple. So, complicated constitution also, our constitution is neither too flexible nor too rigid on the basis of circumstances. Parliamentary form of government also existed. Say, the sovereign power of the nation is vested in the elected parliament. The executive is responsible to the legislature at the central and state level. Here, the executive responsibility is very, very important in the elected parliamental central state and state level also. Republican system. Our country has declared India as republic. The head of the country is directly elected by the citizens. So, all people are elected by the citizens through the election. In India, the president is the constitutional head of state. He is also elected. Our constitution provides for a federal system of government, because our country consists of different languages. Number of states are different, language also differ, but different language, caste, race, and geographical regions. So these are all consist of our government. Administrative powers are shared here by the central government and state governments. The central lead has 100 subjects, the state lead has 61 subjects, and the concurrent lead has 52 subjects. There are 3 leads. One central, how many subjects? 100. And how many state subjects? are the three lists of our constitution. The Supreme Court also possesses power to solve the disputes arising between the center and the state with respect to any subject. So these three lists are very important to go with smooth running. Otherwise, sometimes create some problems. These problems are solved by Supreme Court at the state level, High Court also. High Court and Supreme Court also solved such list of central list, state list and concurrent list also. Last one, fundamental rights and duties of Constitution. I will give you a little description about it. The rights that the Constitution has given to the people are called fundamental rights. That means our government has given some rights to the citizen of particular country. These rights are known as fundamental rights. Like that, our country has such rights. Law of any government, central or state or any organization can be deny these rights. Any country given that rights. Which are those fundamental rights? Right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation. Those who are exploited to the people, against rights also available. Right to freedom to perform any religion, and cultural and education rights also to get it. Any person, any poor or rich or any caste people, but right to move the court. If they face so many problems, they are able to go to the Supreme Court or High Court. That opportunity also available to them. If the fundamental rights are taken away or engaged, the citizen and directly appeal to the High Court or the Supreme Court. If they face the problem, they are able to go to either High Court or Supreme Court to get the solution from them. These rights are listed in the third part of the Constitution. Last one, duties. The fundamental duties are also very important to live and exist the people of our country. Fundamental duties have been delineated in the Part A of the 4th chapter under Clause 51A of our Constitution. These are all the duties of our Constitution. Abide by the Constitution and respect national flag and national anthem. Everyone should respect the flag and national anthem. And everyone should follow the freedom struggle ideals, freedom fighter ideals, and protect our country, become a sovereign and integrated of India. And define your country is great like that, and render national service when called upon. If the country called to you to protect your country, you have to do your dedication. Spirit of common brotherhood is to one nation to other nation surrounding area people also. And preserve composite culture. We should enrich our culture and develop scientific temper and safeguard public property. Don't distract and strive for excellence. Execute and execute your excellent what you have. Duty go all parents, 100% guardians to send their children in the age group of 6 to 14 years to school. That means free and compulsory education introduced in our country. Everyone should respect and give the education facility to from 6 to 14 years students to go to school. Okay. Through the 86th Amendment to the Constitution in 2002, it has been made a duty of parents to provide compulsory education, free and compulsory education, according to the 86th Amendment. During the year implement 2002, their children aged between 6 to 14 years. This is the 11th duty mentioned in the Constitution Assembly. 6-year child up to the 14 years child should go to the school. If the deny these students by the parents also become offense to receive law and order in our country. Okay, dear students, over that chapter. Thank you one and all watching my